It's Jason. I got this gut feeling that 2025 is going to be an important year for more budget-friendly devices, and Google may have just dropped the best phone in this category. The new Pixel 9a comes in at a starting price tag of only $499, and much like the Pixel 9 and the Pixel 9 Pro that came before it, this is a considerable leap forward from last year's Pixel 8a. Google applied all of the well-received design and performance elements to this phone, and on paper, it looked like it could be nothing short of a home run. Now, I was able to pick one up at the Google store that actually opened up nearby, and I've been using the Pixel 9a for about a week now, so I wanted to put this review together to give you a better sense of how this phone is from an actual day-to-day usage standpoint to help you decide if the Pixel 9a is the right phone for you. Now, before we get into it, a real quick plug for the JSL newsletter. I send subscribers out a brand new full-res wallpaper every single week, as well as links to really good tech deals and fun articles written by yours truly. It's totally free. Link to subscribe will be in the description down below. Okay, first, let's talk about physical form factor and design. Compared to last year's Pixel 8a, the 9a has seen quite a glow up. Adopting the lauded design upgrades Google introduced last year with their flagship lineup, the Pixel 9a now uses the popular, albeit familiar, industrial aesthetic with the slab-like physical form factor. It has a striking resemblance to the regular Pixel 9, as the dimensions are almost near identical, and it has the same flat front and back panels connected together with an aluminum frame. It also comes in multiple different colors that follow the saturated colorways of the Pixel 9 lineup. I went with peony, and I think it looks dope, super punchy and well executed. But let's talk about the key differences and get those out of the way first. The most noticeable difference is going to be the camera, as Google decided to forego the signature Pixel camera bar and offer a free-floating design. 1 week later, to be honest, I kind of missed the ledge camera housing. It was such a big part of the Pixel aesthetic that grew on me over the years. It's a bit strange for it to be completely missing. I will say, however, that I kind of love that the camera is nearly flush against the back of the phone. The lack of a camera bump gives the Pixel 9a a very clean, minimalistic look. Now, the other thing that I want to talk about is the build material for this phone. Yes, the back panel is made out of plastic, which I know could sound like a turnoff for many of you, but you gotta hear me out on this one. It's seriously not a big deal. And that's mainly because the frame on the Pixel 9a is really well put together. It's significantly more robust than last year's, and because of that, you don't really notice and or care about the material on the back. Plus, it has a nice matte finish to it, so it looks really nice, especially against the brush finish of the color match frame. 1 week later, this has not bothered me at all. It's definitely a design choice that sounds exponentially worse than it actually is, so it's something that you're going to want to keep in mind. Now, the last design element with the Pixel 9a that we have to talk about is something that was a hotly debated issue on the Pixel 8a, and that's the bezel on the screen. I think we officially have Bezelgate 2.0 with this phone, as the bezel is kind of big, but much like last year, I don't think it's gonna matter for most people. The Pixel 9a's 6.3-inch OLED screen is large enough to make consuming content very enjoyable. It also has the same high 2700 nits of peak brightness as the Pixel 9, which is surprising to see, and when you're actually using the phone, not just staring at a static wallpaper, the bezel very quickly dissolves into the background. And in that regard, I would say that the overall design of the Pixel 9a is a big win. It feels really good in the hand for a device that's priced the way that it is, and most of the concessions I just talked about have way more bark than bite. But let's talk about the Pixel 9a's performance and features, and this might be a spoiler, but there's really not much to talk about when it comes to concessions. Number one, this phone is equipped with Google's latest Tensor G4 chip and the Titan M2 processor, the same that's on the flagship Pixel 9s. It does only come with 8 GB of RAM compared to the 12 that's on the Pixel 9, but you don't really notice a difference when it comes to day-to-day activity. Navigating around Android OS is smooth and easy to do, especially with this phone having a 120Hz variable refresh rate. It makes scrolling through all apps a very nice user experience. Gaming on the Pixel 9a is also immersive and lag-free, and without any overheating issues so far, even for the ones that are a bit more spec-intensive. When it comes to biometric security, the 9a has the improved in-display fingerprint reader that is much faster than the old units Google was using for a long time, which is great to see. And in area performance, in which the Pixel 9a does better than its older brother, is with its battery life. It has a larger 5100 mAh battery compared to the 4700 mAh battery on the Pixel 9, and this is such a great spec bump. You could easily get through a full day of heavy use with this guy, so long as you start the day on a full charge, and the performance here has been excellent. And real quick, if you're finding this video helpful, pressing the like button would be super helpful for me, and definitely consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. Now the Pixel 9a also has access to all of Google's new AI features. I always do kind of a disclaimer around AI features on phones in general to not put too much weight on them when making a purchasing decision, but it is nice to see that the 9a isn't gatekept from them and that it has the horsepower to take advantage of these features without any noticeable lag. So you could use features like circle to search, which is low-key super helpful and easy to use. You also get all of the AI editing features on the Photos app, which seem to be getting better over time. You can also have Gemini summarize YouTube videos for you, which is one of my favorite AI features on this phone, and just having access to Gemini in general as the primary AI assistant is pretty awesome because it's the best one to have in my opinion. Gemini Advanced is a particularly powerful AI tool, and it's great to see that you can access it even with the phone that has a much more accessible price tag. Now we'll see how AI evolves within Google's ecosystem, but it is really nice to see that the Pixel 9a will be able to follow along in this evolution. Okay, the last area of performance that I want to talk about with the Pixel 9a 1 week later is the camera performance. Notably, this phone does come with the dual camera setup in the back with a front-facing selfie camera similar with the regular Pixel 9. It has a 48 megapixel main sensor and a 13 megapixel ultra wide, while the selfie camera also comes in at 13 megapixels. When it comes to the still images, the pictures I've taken with this phone over the past week come out looking great. Google continues to deliver a very pleasing final image to users in the easiest way possible. The colors are rich and saturated, and that moody contrast Google applies to its picture profile is still something that differentiates this phone from others in a good way. The selfies also come out looking great as the photos are sharp and detailed. Doesn't do the best with portrait mode sometimes, but you can always undo this feature in post in case it doesn't come out right. Now when it comes to video, something to note, unlike the Pixel 9 and the 9 Pro, you can't shoot in 4K 24 frames per second as you're limited to 30 or 60 FPS. Kind of a bummer, but generally speaking, the 4K video quality coming out of the 9a is pretty solid. Google has worked on making their videos a lot more natural looking, and they've gotten much better with their color rendition and sharpening. Is it the best 4K video coming out of any phone right now? No, but it is respectable and is very good considering the phone's price tag. Which brings me to my overall thoughts on the Pixel 9a 1 week later. Let's really talk about all this phone has to offer. It's beautifully put together and feels fantastic in the hand. You get a full HD OLED display with a 120Hz variable refresh rate. You get Google's latest and most powerful in-house mobile processor. You get access to all of Google's AI features and enhancements, and you get an advanced camera system that performs really well. That is quite a basket of top-end features for a phone that only costs $499. I'm kind of flabbergasted by what Google has brought to the table here. The Pixel 9a is so value-packed as it's extremely similar to the regular Pixel 9 that is a whopping $300 more expensive. Now we'll see over time how the Pixel 9a does with software updates and adoption of new features, but so far I think this phone is a huge home run. But hey, that's just me, and I want to know what you guys think. What do you guys think about the new Pixel 9a? Do you think it's as value-packed as I think it is? Or do you think it's a miss? Curious to get your thoughts. Let me know what you guys are thinking in the comments down below. And in case you guys missed the review of the new iPhone 16e, another great budget phone, definitely check it out here. You're not going to want to miss it.